The observation deck of the Galactic Yurching Station hummed with the soft whir of environmental systems, a sound that had become as familiar to Ira as her own heartbeat. 3 cycles had passed since she'd been assigned to the Xenopediatric Wing, a posting most humans would have declined. But Ira wasn't most humans. She knelt beside the reinforced play enclosure, watching Kiko and Miro tumble over each other in what the VRYNN specialists called dominance play. To Ira, it just looked like 2 kids having fun. "You shouldn't get so close," Dr. Velshira's translator crackled, her chitinous form clicking disapprovingly from across the room. "They're Apex-class predator spawn. One miscalculation and they'd apologize," Ira interrupted gently, not taking her eyes off the cubs. "Wouldn't you, Kiko?" The larger of the 2 cubs, barely the size of a terrier, though her species would eventually grow to mass 300 kilograms of pure muscle and fury, chirped affirmatively. Her golden eyes, still round with youth, focused on Ira with unsettling intelligence. Dr. Velshira's mandibles clicked in what Ira had learned to recognize as exasperation. "Your species' propensity for pack bonding with anything possessing bilateral symmetry will be your downfall." Ira smiled. She'd heard variations of this lecture from every non-human on the station. Humans were reckless. Humans were sentimental. Humans treated galactic apex predators like pets and somehow survived. "Maybe," Ira said, standing and brushing imaginary dust from her uniform. "But it hasn't been our downfall yet." She walked toward the secure door leading to the medical wing, placing her palm flat against the biometric panel. The interface glowed blue, reading her thermal signature, pulse, and the unique electromagnetic pattern of her nervous system. A soft chime indicated acceptance, and the door hissed open. Behind her, small feet pattered on the deck plating. Ira turned just in time to see Kiko and Miro, their stubby legs carrying them with surprising speed, plant their tiny paws against the door panel in perfect mimicry of her gesture. The panel flickered. Red. Then the lights died. Emergency illumination bathed the corridor in crimson as klaxons wailed. Dr. Velshira's shriek cut through the chaos. "What did you do?" "I didn't," Ira started, but the station's AI interrupted. "Lockdown initiated. Xenopediatric wing sealed. Biometric authorization compromised." Ira's blood ran cold. She sprinted back to the cubs, who sat innocently beside the panel, their tails swishing with what she desperately hoped was confusion rather than satisfaction. "Kiko, Miro, what did you?" She stopped. The panel's interface was cycling through a cascade of alien script, error messages overlapping in a dozen languages. The cub's paw prints glowed faintly on the screen, thermal residue still visible. "Impossible," Dr. Velshira whispered, her voice losing its usual condescension. "The biometric locks require specific human electromagnetic signatures. They're keyed to your species' unique neural patterns." "How could they?" "Mimicry," Ira breathed. "Not just physical mimicry, neural mimicry." She'd read the preliminary studies on the cub's species, the Kryn. They were one of only 3 apex predators to develop tool used before achieving sapience. Their neural plasticity was off the charts. But this was something else entirely. The station's emergency channel crackled to life. "This is Commander Das. Xenopediatric Wing, report status. We're reading a catastrophic security breach." Ira activated her communicator. "This is Specialist Ira. No breach, Commander. We have a learning situation." "Explain." She glanced at Kiko and Miro, who were now attempting to press their paws against the panel again, chirping excitedly. "The Kryn cubs observed my biometric authentication and replicated not just the physical action, but somehow the electromagnetic signature. They've locked down the entire wing." Silence. "Then, that's not possible," our xenobiologists assured us. "Your xenobiologists didn't account for human proximity," Dr. Velshira interrupted, her scientific curiosity apparently overriding her fear. "Ira has been in constant contact with the cubs. Human bioelectric fields are notably strong compared to most species. If the cubs have been absorbing and learning to replicate, we need that door open," Commander Das cut in. "We have 3 other species in that wing, and life support is on a separate circuit from the main station." Ira's mind raced. The cubs had locked the door by mimicking her. Maybe they could unlock it the same way. But how to communicate that to 2 beings who hadn't yet developed language? She knelt beside them again, ignoring Dr. Velshira's warning click. Kiko, Moreau, look at me. For golden eyes fixed on her face. Ira placed her hand on the panel again. It remained red. Her authorization was now flagged as compromised. She pulled her hand away slowly, then pointed at the panel, then at the cubs. Kiko tilted her head, a gesture so human it made Ira's heart ache. You made it red, Ira said softly, knowing they couldn't understand words, but hoping her tone conveyed meaning. Can you make it blue again? Moreau chirped and pressed his paw against the panel. Red. He pulled back, confused. Kiko watched her brother, then looked at Ira. The cub's eyes seemed to focus inward, that predatory intelligence engaging with a problem. She approached the panel, but instead of mimicking Ira's earlier motion, she placed her paw differently. Rotated 45 degrees, pressure distributed differently across her paw pads. The panel flickered. Yellow. Dr. Velshera gasped. She's troubleshooting. Kiko adjusted again, shifted her weight, and something in the way she held herself changed. Her breathing pattern, the electrical potential across her fur, something Ira couldn't quantify but could feel in the air between them. The panel turned green. The locks disengaged with a heavy clunk. Lights returned to normal. The klaxons fell silent. Commander Thas's voice came through, barely controlled. Specialist Ira, you are to report to my office immediately after quarantine procedures. And someone explained to me how 2 cubs just hacked our security system. Ira sat back on her heels, staring at Kiko and Moreau, who were now playing again as if nothing had happened. Not hacked, she said quietly. Learned. Dr. Velshera approached slowly, her earlier disapproval replaced with something close to awe. The human bonding instinct, she murmured. They didn't just observe you. They bonded with you. And in bonding, they learned to become partially you. That's terrifying, Commander Thas said. Ira reached out, and Kiko pressed her head into the human's palm, purring, a sound her species shouldn't have been able to make, but had learned from watching Ira comfort other younglings. Maybe, Ira agreed, scratching behind Kiko's ears while Moreau climbed into her lap. Or maybe it's just what happens when you actually give them a chance. In the background, Dr. Velshera was already recording notes, her scientific mind cataloging the implications. In 3 cycles, Ira had achieved what the station's xenobiologists had said would take years: genuine interspecies communication and learning. The Galactic Council would want reports. There would be committees, studies, probably restrictions. But as Kiko and Moreau settled against her, their small bodies warm and trusting, Ira couldn't bring herself to care. Humanity's greatest strength had never been their technology or their weapons. It was their stubborn, reckless, beautiful refusal to see anything as truly alien, even when it locked down an entire wing of a space station.